Welcome to the greatest show in the history of combat sports shows, Inside BJJ. If you don't like it, then you can just go host. Hey, welcome everybody. Let me fix that
voice issue right there. Hey, there we go. What's up? You almost busted me pulling a fast one. I tried to get Satan himself into the game here, but this is regular Inside BJJ. Thanks for joining us today. We got a great show lined up for you. You're asking me, what are we gonna do today? Well, I don't know. I don't know, but I know it's gonna be good, and I'm stoked to be live and back on Kick. We got a great show actually lined up. Got a few things we are going to chat about. I'm going to give you a little quick catch up, what I've been up to. And then we'll talk about, man, I was thinking about the 2003 ADCC that took place 23 years ago. I'm really milking my official UNC status here. But there were some cool matches that went on in that ADCC, and I want to chat just a little bit about that. Also want to talk a little bit about UFC 328, specifically Sean Strickland against Khamzat. That was a big match, lots of anticipation, lots of back and forth since the match. I've heard people say like, hey, I think this match might have been rigged, blah, 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 blah. But something happened in that fight, and actually I went looking for clips of it, only to discover that I'm not the only one that saw it, which actually does make sense. But yeah, there was a very, very important moment in the second round that indicated to me that Strickland was going to win that fight. And if I had been watching that in real time, I was on a slight delay, I probably would have put some money on it if I could have in the second round, if I could have found someone to take action, because man, it was a huge, huge tell there. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then I want to talk about Real American Freestyle. Listen, I don't know if you're watching Real American Freestyle, but I'm telling you, I've been saying this for a minute. Real American Freestyle is making some major moves in combat sports, and you really, really need to check it out. They are trying to become something with wrestling that the world has never seen. It's elite freestyle wrestling combined with UFC crossover names, personality-driven combat sports entertainment, all in one. And as far as I can tell, these guys are doing it the best. It's not a surprise. We'll get into that just a little bit. If you have any questions or comments, criticisms, advice, feedback, therapy, whatever you got, please bring it in. I'd love to hear it. This is Inside BJJ. You know, if you got a bad review for me, I am 100% gonna read it. I love that stuff. Honestly, I kind of live for it, to be real with you. Like it's it's some of the greatest feedback that I can get, and most of the time I just kind of chuckle at it and have a good goof, but we'll talk about that. Let's catch up a little bit. So wow, yeah, so I went to Spain. Let me fix my chair. Went to Spain a few weeks ago. Well, I guess about a week and a half ago, April 23rd to about May 5th. Had a great time. Went to Madrid, went to Barcelona, got to see everybody, got to teach a class there at 10th Planet Barcelona. Shout out to the big dog Manu there. He is the owner and head coach there. Just a really, really great dude. Thank you so much for the hospitality. Great club there. Really cool club. And 10th Planet Barcelona has something that I haven't seen in a jiu-jitsu gym yet, and I'm sure they exist. I just haven't seen them. Manu put up a turnstile to where you can't even get into the mat space to train unless you push through that turnstile, and it's locked. So dude at the front desk is sitting there like Matt Lauer with the secret buzzer lock, and he could decide if he wants to let you in or let you out. But I think everybody gets out. In fact, no, I think I had to be let out now that I think about it. I walked right into that damn thing and it was like, ugh. But yeah, it's, what a great idea for keeping undesirables off the mat, or just, making sure people pay the drop-in fee, or making sure somebody's actually signed the waiver or they check in. Got to look at getting something like that at 10th Planet Nashville. I'm sure. Look, man, all I have is an iPad, and it has a password on it, and there's a sticky. There's like a little card right next to it. It says password is 1111. All they got to do is punch that in and then check in. And, sometimes Zen Planner, the kiosk software sucks. It's trashy sometimes, not very good. But, mostly it works. And I can't get these guys to check in for nothing. Like, I can't do anything to get these dudes to check in. But if I put a turnstile up and I basically treated class like the New York City subway system, ooh, imagine that. Like, just like really take it to the next level. The New York City subway training experience. Fresh urine, sewer rats that are 2 feet long. We got one dude who is over there busking in the corner playing a saxophone for loose change. And we got another guy who is looking for a mop bucket. So, yeah, that'd be a real smash hit in Nashville. But, yeah, so went to Spain, had a great time, man. Got back to some bad news. I don't even want to talk about that. Just some personal life bull crap, but I'm moving through all that. It don't matter. You can't hold a good man down. You can't hold a Stockton boy down. There's no possible way that it can happen. Outside of that, man, I got really sick on Monday night. So my wife went to Whole Foods and she's like, hey, I really like the carrot cake there. She's like, I'm going to get you a piece of carrot cake for your birthday. I was like, yeah, I want that carrot cake from Whole Food. She said, anything else you'd like me to get while you're there? And I'm like, well, Mr. Bezos has everything. He's an important businessman. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I would like some of that goddamn meatloaf that y'all have at Whole Foods. And obliged, man. She brought home these 3 thick slices of meatloaf. Like Whole Foods meatloaf, it's made in some kind of industrial situation, because that meatloaf is thick, man. It's like this thick. Cooked that meatloaf up, threw it on the skillet. I'm pretty anti-microwave. Everything tastes better if you throw it on a skillet, especially a Lodge, like a real cast iron. That's good. But, so I heated up on there, and it's all right. It tastes good. I eat it, and then on freaking Tuesday morning, actually Tuesday morning about 3 a.m., I wake up, and that meatloaf's just sitting in my chest. He's just sitting on me like a 300-pound purple belt on your first day of jiu-jitsu who just stunts on you. He's just like sitting there like, now what are you gonna do? I'm gonna rub my big meatloaf behind on your chest. And, I'm like, waking up, 48 years old. Welcome to 48, bitch. And I struggle to the bathroom. And I'm just like, oh, my God, I feel like I'm going to chuck. And I can't, dude. I can't. Look, here's the thing. I can chuck. I can world-class projectile vomit with the best of them. The problem is like once that switch gets flipped in my head, I can't turn it off. Like, so it won't be just one purging. It'll be 13 or 14 by the time a few hours has gone by. Like, that mechanism in my body goes haywire. So I try to avoid it, which thankfully I did. But man, the whole day I felt pregnant. I was just like nauseous, irritable, felt like yelling at my husband, wanted to send him down to 7-Eleven to get a pina colada special edition that's only sold in the bad neighborhoods. That was my wife's gig, right? My wife, when she was pregnant with my first son, Noah, she had a hankering for 7-Eleven, icy, slushy, big gulps, whatever they are, man. That frozen concoction that comes out of the tube and probably gave us COVID. She had a particular wanting for these, but it was like the only flavor she wanted was sold in the terrible neighborhoods. If it was like, and most of the 7-Elevens in Stockton were like in rude, bad neighborhoods, like not good neighborhoods. I've been to 7-Eleven in Stockton in my life with my own eyes and have seen weapons pulled on people in situations that were intense and scary. So not a great spot, but what wifey wants, wifey gets when she's pregnant. So I would get those, man. So that's how I felt. That's essentially how I felt yesterday. And, you know, I really wanted to make it to class. So I took my wife out to the airport. Traffic out here in Nashville is like, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not good either. It took a minute to get there. So I'm heading back and I'm like, I'm feeling kind of funky, but I'm going to go ahead and go through this. Like, I'm going to go to class. And I thought, well, maybe if I just eat something, like I put another layer, right? I throw a layer on top of the layer. You know what I mean? Like something, stir it up. Like maybe I could like, I don't know, water it out or just kind of like, just make it like not as concentrated and strong. So I ate a little snack and then I went to the gym and I'm like, I was there a little early. I watched Andrew. Happy birthday to Andrew, by the way, 33 years old. You made it to Jesus's age, bud. Good job. Good job. And I watched him teach judo, hung out, talked to my homie, Sam, Dr. Headlock. Check him out on Twitch. He's got some cool stuff going there. And, you know, I was like, I think I'm going to do class. And then all the bangers started showing up for 10-round Tuesday. All the dudes you want to train with, right? By the time class got like, hey, we're going to start rolling, I felt like ass, man. I felt like hot trash that's been left out in the southern hot trash that's been sitting in 10P Decatur when it's like 115 degrees, full humidity, right? And it's just been sitting there for like 17 days, and we're on day 17 of a 100-degree, heat streak. So wasn't great, man. Didn't feel good. Ended up just not training. Stayed and watched all the rounds. Talked some smack. My personal favorite thing to do on the mats. Watched everybody roll. Just kind of checked up on the students. Felt like this is a good time for me to kind of see where everybody's at, see how people are doing, point out if there's any mistakes or issues that need to be worked on. And so I went through that process. It was all fine and dandy. Hip hip hooray. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to head home. And then I did this thing, man. I don't know why I do this thing, but I'm like, I got to put something else in my stomach. I hadn't eaten too much. And I'm like, man, I think like I'm past the meatloaf. I think big 300-pound meatloaf guy has kind of slid down and I've already expelled him out of my body. So I did what any reasonable person would do, right? I went to Sonic. Sonic. Hey, man. Sonic's got good cheeseburgers, dude. I went to Sonic and got a couple plain cheeseburgers. That's my move. I love plain cheeseburgers. When I go to fast food, I never get like the big Rotunda burger or the double Big Mac or the Jumbo Jack or the Whopper Deluxe or the freaking whatever Carl's Jr. Hardee's has or the Supersonic Quad Burger. I just get like 2 plain cheeseburgers. I want a bun, I want meat, I want cheese, and I want another bun. And that's all I want. I don't want a shred of lettuce. I don't want ketchup. I don't want mustard. And damn you if you put mayo on it. If you put mayo on it, we gonna fight. I can deal with anything else. I could scrape off the ketchup. I could scrape off the mustard. I could deal with lettuce. I could deal with tomatoes and pickles. Look, I like that kind of stuff. I just don't want that stuff on my burger. I don't want to eat my burger with the garden outside. I just want to eat my burger, man. I want the burger. I want to taste the bread, the cheese, and the meat. That's it. Speaking of that, I'm getting hungry. I might go to In-N-Out for lunch. For real. In-N-Out moved to Franklin, Tennessee, where I live, so suck it, Cali. Y'all thought you had that one on me, but since I got out of Cali, all the cool folks are moving too, including In-N-Out. Let's go, baby. So anyway, I did that. Tried to watch the Giants-Dodger game. Couldn't get it on my pirate stream, but I am wearing the Giants hat. Watched the 10-minute highlight this morning to see that the beloved Giants beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Condolences to you, Raf Esparza, my broadcast partner on the bullpen. Check that out. If you check out Grappling Hour on YouTube, you can check out Bullpen Live on Instagram, Inside BJJ on YouTube. We got all the bullpen grappling shows. It's a weekly show we do every week. We've been doing it for, a couple of years. We are the official PGF pre and post show. We've also covered like ADCC, CJI, Subversive, EBI. Like, man, Raph and I have been in the game since a long time. We've been covering this well over 15 years. Like, this is what we've been doing. We were two of the only guys doing it for a long time, and we still do it. So, yeah, we eventually partnered up. So check that out. Anyway, not feeling super great. Went to bed at about 10 and just like sweated like crazy. Sorry, Stella. Stella's out in California for an AI boot camp. I'm gonna boot camp AI. And yeah, man, I just sweated. I had like a Native American sweat lodge ceremony in my room and woke up this morning 6 a.m. Fucking felt like SpongeBob and Elf combined, man. I just sat up and I'm like, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. So, man, feeling great today, but that sucked. Did get to, watch 10 Round Tuesday, so that was dope. And then I had a nice little surprise. So I've been waiting for some rash guards to come in for the academy that we ordered not too long ago. It's taking a minute, but that's not that big deal. It's not like anything extra. But I keep going, checking, and looking. So today I go out and I see there's this box, this decent-sized box by the door, and I'm like, oh, snap, maybe the game. And I walk out to the mailbox. I get the mail. I pick up the box on the way in, and I see that it says C's Candy on it. Now, if you're not familiar with C's Candy, that's C spelled S-E-E apostrophe S. C's Candy is a candy maker. They make, I'm talking the best chocolate candy you have had in your life. Okay. I've had chocolate and I've been to Belgium and had the Belgian chocolate. I've been to Paris and I've had Parisian chocolate. I've been to Italy and Venice and Rome and had their sweets. I've been to Spain and had their sweets. I've been into Mexico and had the chocolate, the abuelita one and all that. Look, it's good. It's all good, but there's nobody close to C's Candy. Think Russell Stover's times 100, like way better. No, not trying to bag on you, Russell. You seem like a great guy. But C's Candy's got you whooped. So C's started up in San Francisco, California. Man, probably in the 30s or 40s, sometime a long time ago. Amazing stuff. You used to only be able to get it in California. And in California, when you go into a C's Candy, you can just pick. You could build your own box. They got like 100 types of candy. I want some of those. I want some of those. Give me some of them. Give me some of these. But if you found it somewhere else, like you see them at airports, it was just a variety box, pre-sealed, already set up. You had couldn't do nothing. Well, recently they moved to an online market where you could actually like pick your box online. So I did it. The first time I did it, it was delicious, came out great, super awesome. Recently did it again, and I got this box of chocolates that literally looked like it had been sitting at Guillermo's Liquor Mart for 17 months since 2024. The chocolate was like no longer chocolatey looking. It was like it was like it aged. It was like an old person. Like an old person that's been in a hot tub too long and they just get out and they're just like, they're already wrinkled. They looked bad they looked pruned up when they got in. When they get out, they're like double raisined. You know what I mean? Like that's what the chocolates look like. It was terrible looking. I ate them. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't eat them all in the beginning because I kind of wanted to measure my wife's reaction. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat these. These are disgusting. I would never put that in my body. But a few minutes later, she left the room, and I'm like, well, I should try it. It might be okay. And over a couple months, I ate most of them. I ate most of that box, to be real with you, which is like kind of sad and pathetic, but I did it. And we didn't like them though, because it was bunk. It was a bad deal. Like, it wasn't quality. It was really poor quality for C's Candy. And I sent him a note. I went online and I'm like, hey, this some boo-boo candy you sent. Like, it's not good. I sent him a couple pictures before, I cracked into him. Never heard anything back. And then there was a phone number. Oh, you got to call this number. If it's online, you got to call the number. Oh, it's online. It's a number I got to call. So I'm like, great. This probably means they're not even fulfilling their own online orders. They probably just got a bunch of candy somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, call the online number. Nobody answers. You get a voicemail and it goes like, we're closed today. Every day I called, we're closed today. We're closed today. It's like, oh, well, you're ass out of luck then, dude. So I wrote it off. I'm like, I guess I won't order C's Candy again. Well, today, that box, and I walked into the house with it, and I put it on the counter. It said C's Candy. I sliced that box open, got my little knife out, opened that thing up, and it was refrigeration packed, man, wrapped in this beautiful insulation. I started to peel. I started getting so excited. I started peeling back what's in it. I peeled it back. Little ice thing on top of it. I picked that up and set it to the side. I pulled that box out. And it was like Indiana Jones finding the Ark of the Covenant. It's just like, as I pulled it out of the box, it was a Pulp Fiction briefcase open moment. It just lit up, and I was like, man, I ripped that sucker. Got a delicious bite of a double caramel dark chocolate. My mama got that job. She feeling good. Man, it was good. It was delicious. Texted my wife, said, yo, did your mom send us some chocolate? Because my wife's mom is known for bringing us C's Candy when she comes out to visit. She's never sent it, though. And she is coming out to visit, which I'll talk about that in just a minute. So I thought, well, maybe she just like pre-sent some candy to arrive before she arrived. But Stella's like, nah, my mom don't deal like that. My mom packages it up and brings it with her. So thank you. Big shout out to C's Candy. C's Candy online. I'm telling you, the best chocolates in the entire world. I get nothing for pumping them up, but you should check them out. C's Candy online. My personal recommendation is to go with the caramel with almonds, half of the box, and the other half of the box do the double caramels. Oh, you thank me later. Okay, thank me later. Speaking of my mother-in-law is coming out to visit. Woo woo! Look, a lot of dudes, they don't like their mother-in-law. Like, for whatever reason, they don't have a good relationship with them. Their mother-in-law is like says mean things to them, or maybe these dudes are just deadbeats. Hey, what's up, Egg? Yeah, no, I'm not solo. This is the Inside BJJ show, man. You know that. You know that, Egg. You know that Inside BJJ has been running for a long, long time. I just never dusted it off in a minute, but now I'm dusting this bad boy off because it feels like the right thing to do. And I have a lot of free time on my hands, so I'm going to be banging it out. Anyway, yeah, good to see you, Egg. Egg is like the biggest supporter of everything that everybody does, and I do appreciate that. Sometimes I'll make a joke here or there, but I actually really do like Egg quite a bit. He is the owner of the Colorado Wolverines, the PGF, and he's doing a cool job there. It was honestly, it's impressive to watch because it's not a small undertaking to like buy a team and launch it and run it. That's a lot of work, man. So pretty good on you, Egg. It's good to see you. So my mother-in-law comes out, and on Saturday, I got to go pick her up. I'm going to take my son down to the Jiu-Jitsu Open in Huntsville, Alabama. It's so trippy growing up on the West Coast and then saying, like, on Saturday, I'm going to Alabama, y'all. But I do lean into it, and I like it. I don't think the country boys appreciate a West Coast guy leaning into it, but I don't really care, to be honest with you. The way I look at it is every dude and his ugly girlfriend came out to the West Coast to make it big. My green screen just cut my hand off. It's all, Star Wars. And many of them didn't, and I had to live with them. So bite me. If you don't like me being in the South, kick rocks. Go out and live in Stockton for the rest of your life then, buddy. So mother-in-law's coming out. I'm going to jam back up to the airport after taking Nate down to the Huntsville tournament, which I expect him to do fantastic because he's murdering dudes right now. Check him out on Instagram, ZombieKilla902. That's ZombieKilla902, something like that. And she's going to come out. Here's what I love about my mother-in-law coming out. She is the best cook I have ever had food from in my whole life. She's born and raised in Mexico. And in her family, there's like a lineage of cooks. And it's almost like jujitsu. It's like, who did your mom learn how to cook from? Like, people in the family will ask that if they haven't, or what, there's like this thing in the family. They're like, well, Eva learned how to cook from so-and-so. Well, so-and-so is like the black and red belt in the family who learned from so-and-so who was the red belt, right? And there's other cooks like, well, she's good, but she was trained under Tia Rosa, and she's good, but she doesn't make the verde enchiladas the right way. She uses like the little tomatillos, or I don't know. There's stuff like that, right? Stella's mom, Eva, is the best cook. It's so damn good. I have been dating Stella. I started dating Stella when I was 17. That's the first time I went to her mom's house and ate that food. I grew up in California. I had good Mexican food. I thought I was a Mexican my whole life. Like, I literally thought I was Mexican for most of my life. And then I ate this food, and I was like, wow, I didn't know it could be made this well. So she's coming out, and what I love about her is when she comes out, she cooks constantly. When she's here, she will cook. But she brings stuff with her that she's already made, specifically tamales. And I don't know if she'll do it this time, but the last time she came out, she brought a suitcase of tamales, like a whole carry-on suitcase. And when I unzipped this suitcase and I lifted it up and I looked at it, it looks like drugs. I'm just going to be real. Like, I would be nervous going through TSA with this just because I feel like they would pull me aside. Whatever dude is watching the Smith electronic scanner machine, they're not on the job, man, because when you open this up, it's basically like a layer of dry ice or something like some cold kind of thing. And then under it, there's like a layer of these tamales that are in these vacuum packed, like sealed things, and it's just like a lump. It's a lump like a little tamale. It's a whole sheet of it, and then under that there's another layer of cooling thing. I don't know what it is, and then there's another layer and another layer. There's like 100 tamales in this suitcase, and that seems like that's how somebody would pack drugs if they were gonna pack. Just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, so she's bringing the tamales out. I can't wait. I love Eva. Eva is an amazing woman, and she's got some great food. So I'm digging it. I'm gonna start my diet after Eva visits. I think that's probably the smartest thing to do. I'm gonna start my HGH and what are those my GLP-7 inhibitors after the tamale party. Like, I'm not gonna do it before the tamale party because I just don't think that's a good idea. Okay, so I told you I was going to talk about ADCC 2023, and this was like an interesting ADCC, to be honest with you, because a couple big things happened up until this point. There was, I wouldn't say all Gracie dominance, but you had a lot of Gracie dominance kind of running ADCC. And you got to remember, until 2001, so from 98 to 01, there were 4 years they did ADCC every year. Okay, they did 98, 99, 2000, 2001. And a couple guys really set themselves apart, specifically Hoyler. He had won in 99, 2000, and 2001. Never been scored on in competition, never been tapped, right? And you also had Henzo, who did quite well. He won in 2000, and he won in 98. So he had two wins. You could hear me right now. I am getting ready to open my LaCroix. Spilled it all over myself. Classy move. I love LaCroix, though. I'm addicted to mineral water. If mineral water is bad for you, I am in serious trouble, because I probably drink 6 in a day, easy. I like the bite. I like that carbonated bite. I could get addicted to putting those little 9-volt batteries on my tongue like that. I want the carbonation to pop like that. I want to pop it's got to be like almost electrocution. Just take it down like a half notch. Go to electrocute and take it down a half notch. That's where I want it. So the Gracies were doing pretty great. And, listen, you got to give mad props to that family for as much of we live in a world where everybody's, I'm going to expose everything everybody did because I don't have anything to do right now, or I'm going to build up like some Insta notoriety or some social media cred or fame by pointing out all the things somebody else has done wrong and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you need to do that. There are cases where people need to be called out. But historically, like, it's so stupid. It's just like, it's not fruitful. It doesn't really accomplish anything. But there's this or that. Everybody's got their opinions on that family, but you can't say that they aren't the most important family in submission grappling, modern day submission grappling. I would even venture to say like MMA has really, like, the Gracies were a big, big part of that foundation. And you'd be remiss to act like they weren't, right? So going into 2003, this was the first year there was like a layoff between 01 and 03. They didn't do it in 2002. And this is the first year they moved it. So 98, 99, 2000, 2001, it was all in Abu Dhabi, hence Abu Dhabi Combat Club. That was the name of it, ADCC World Champion. In 2003, they moved it to Sao Paulo, Brazil. So right into the backyard, right? And two guys kind of popped up at this time period at ADCC and made huge names for themselves, right? And one guy didn't even win ADCC, like, to be fair, right? Leo Vieira won the 66 kilogram division, and then he won again in 05. But Marcelo Garcia won his first ADCC in 03, the 77 kilogram division, and then he won again in 05 and won again in 07. And then he won one more time. I think he's a 4-time winner. Let me see if I could find his all of 3. Oh yeah, he won in 2011. I mean, that's the only person that's also won 4 is Gordon Ryan at this point. Maybe Kynan has. Maybe Kynan has. I know he's won the absolutes. I think Kynan has won 4. Let's see if we can figure that out real quick. Which, yeah, he has won 4. I think Gordon has won. Yeah, he has 3 in the weight class and then 1 absolute. And Garcia had 4 in his weight class. Kynan had 3 in his weight class and 1 absolute. Gabby Garcia has 4 in her weight class. Don't mean to forget her. What's impressive about Gordon is that he's also got 3 super fight wins. So that's pretty wild. Don't think he's gonna defend his super fight belt, but be cool if he did. So there's a lot going on in 03, and we have these like 2 really kind of historic matchups that go down here, right? So I want to just walk through these. The match with Henzo Gracie and Marcelo Garcia is an interesting matchup because you basically have Marcelo played this arm drag game. He got it on Victor Shaolin. I don't know if it was after he fought Henzo or before, but he got the same arm drag to the back against Shaolin and choked him pretty quick with it. Like, put him out pretty quick. He hits the same drag on Henzo. And it's the drag where, like, you're dragging and you're kind of falling to the ground to your hip and you're pulling him in. It's that drag. And he ends up on Henzo's back the entire match. He's on Henzo's back with hooks in, hand fighting for the win. And Henzo, you know, there's something about the old school grit in jiu-jitsu that it wasn't like you can never tap, but it was like you can never give up, right? You can tap, like, you know, if your arm's going to get broken or you're going to get put to sleep and you know you're going out, you could tap. Nobody's going to hate you for that, but you can't give up. If someone just has your back for 6 minutes and they're punishing you, you can't give them the sub. You got to find a way out. And there's a moral victory in the game that you get when somebody's on you for 4, 5, 6 minutes, and then in the last, you know, minute of the match, you somehow get out of that move and you end up at least on top in guard or on your feet or something. There's like a moral victory. Like, yeah, you positionally dominated me, which does suck, don't get me wrong, but you didn't finish me. So having said that, let me pull this matchup up. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let me see if I can find it here. Got to find my browser. Going to show it. Hey, I love these. So one of these days, I'm just going to do commercial breakdowns. Let me plug it into here. Let's go Renzo Gracie versus Marcelo Garcia. I'll just point out a couple things from this, and let me pull this up. All right, give me 1 sec here. Let me fix the audio. Just fair warning, man, my audio output has been boo-boo. It has not been good. So here we go. Let's get this. Let me make sure this is this is showing up terrible on the screen. Let me fix this real quick for you. The video quality's not good, so that's kind of one of the problems here. Boy, this is really not good, though. Let me see if I can find a better view of this. Maybe. This is like some really old matches, so it's a little bit hard to find good stuff on it. It'd be nice if I could scroll down. This dude's like, you're not allowed to scroll down. Unwatched videos. You've watched them all. Let's just do BJJ match study. I like this guy's stuff. So this is Renzo. Boy, this is bad. Let me... Oh, I know what to do. You guys get to watch the show in real time. That's all right. This is awesome. Okay, let's do this. It's my big-ass head. Can I just... I'm just going to try something. Take myself off the screen. Goodbye. Oh, he dead. Now let's see what happens when I play it. I don't like that. Okay, let me fix it. Let me bring myself back in. This dude's... What's happening for you techies is the chroma key is getting applied to the video, which is lame. That shouldn't be happening. So let me see. Filters. Are there any effects filters going on here? No. Let's go to my capture device. Filters, chroma key. Boom. Hey, that was cool. No, I don't like that. That's boopsy. Okay, that'll be all right. Gamma Rama. All right, let's see if this... I don't think this is going to be much better, unfortunately, but we're going to run through this anyway. You know what I could do is just bring this up on the full screen. I think I'll do that. Let me switch my guy here. Let's go here. See if that helps us. Oh my God, this is like 10 times worse. Oh no, it's better. Let me move myself off of it. There we go. Let me just make myself small and watch. I'll do it like this. Watch this, guys. Bloop, 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 bloop. Here we go. Tiny guy in a tiny box. Just put myself like right. I'll camp out like right here on the screen. How's that? Is that comfortable for y'all? Okay, I think that's better. I think I'm getting some lag, unfortunately. I do apologize. Give this a second to catch up. All right, so this is not great. I'm going to kill this. Go away. Yeah, that lagged up hardcore, man. I apologize. I did some video the other day, and it was pretty great, but this one's like, that one was Boopsy Town 9000. Let's just run it in here and see what happens. Let's go browser and interact, and let's just play it. All right, so you can see like Marcelo gets the trip, right? He gets a straight up trip on Renzo. Boom, he plays that waiter sweep guard super well, right? He wrestles up, and then here's the drag. I think he hits it. It's coming up right here. Watch this drag that Marcelo gets. Oh no, that's Renzo hitting his somersault pass, which was awesome, right? And then now Marcelo, he gets the drag, and then he starts pulling it. No love. Again, he goes again. He loves the drag. He hits this nice little single X entry. And then Renzo, like, he does the head pull, right? This was a little, not old school, but it was like, hey, first thing you try, like, pull that head. And then Marcelo hits, I think right here, he hits another type of, like, X waiter sweep again on Renzo and comes up to the top. And now Renzo's trying to get back to his feet. You can see he thought about guillotine, and now he's trying to put off the guard pass, right? And Marcelo just is relentless with his passing here. And eventually he ends up passing Renzo's guard, right, here. And then we can see, like, Renzo, he does a good job, but then he turtles away. He tried to take Marcelo's arm with him. If you can, like, that's an old school move right here. Watch, Renzo tries to take Marcelo's. Let's see which arm it is. He tries to take Marcelo's right arm. Watch how Renzo wraps right there. You see how he has the arm wrapped right here? That arm wrap. He's trying to turn Marcelo over. Not a super, like, high success technique, but, you know, man, when you're in a bad way, sometimes you do that. Maybe he thought he'd be able to sit out with it. Marcelo pulls the arm out, seatbelts, and gets the hook. Look how quick the hook shot in. Bam. Nice work by Marcelo. And then he starts chair sitting him to the other side. You see he tries to trap the arm. I mean, this is before Danaher and BJJ Fanatics had the the straitjacket system. There's a lot of Marcelo and all that, right? And then Marcelo ends up on Renzo's back for a huge part of this match here. And it goes on, and Renzo just hangs tough. A lot of guys, I'm telling you, even at the professional level, a lot of people will give up the back take. They will give, sorry, not the back take, but they will give up the choke if somebody's on their back for an extended period of time. They just do it. They just will. And you can see Renzo actually stands up, which is brilliant. He leans forward. I wonder if Marcelo could have cradled Renzo at this point to force him back to the ground. But he doesn't. Renzo does a nice job. But then he actually, like, donkey kicks to clear the hooks, which is a old school technique as well. You don't see a ton of that, but you do see it, right? I think a guy like Renzo that's this good, like, to slide off from Marcelo's position into an armbar is a tall order. And Renzo ends up getting part of Marcelo's back to the mat, and then he can kind of scrape him forward. Finally clears his left arm, ends up in guard, and I love he pops right up to his feet, and he starts to pass. Renzo was just game, man. He was just game. But this was like a huge coming out party for Marcelo Garcia. It was a big, big deal. Like, whoa, this dude just beat Renzo Gracie. And this is in 2003, after the 1 year buffer for the first time ever at ADCC. Everybody's watching, and Marcelo Garcia makes his debut to literally beat a legend, right? And go on to win his first of 4 ADCCs. The other match on here that really was like, I really think 03 was a signifying of a shift in jiu-jitsu. Stylistically, it started to change as well. From more of a, I don't know if old school's the right name for it, but just that style of approach to a more modernized style that eventually kind of morphed into what we're seeing today. The other one is Eddie Bravo versus Royler Gracie. I know this one. Oh, I just looked up Eddie Bravo. Great. Eddie Bravo versus Royler Gracie. I know this is a big one. We've talked about this forever. Like this is one of those ones that's been around for a minute. But what a great matchup. A couple really cool things happened, and this is like so bad, the video quality. I wonder why it's so terrible. Well, probably because it's old. Let me see. Let's just run this anyway. Boy, I got it's just like crazy looking. Something's going on with the it's getting filtered somehow. Super, super gnarly though. Let's see if I can if I put it over, that does not look good. I put it under. Boom, that looks much better. Properties, let's see. What is going on? Use custom frame rate. All right, that'll work. Shut down source, refresh browser. Read access, reset cache of current page. Okay. All right, we got that going. And then, oh, that's the old video. Okay, well, that one looks great. That's the one we did the other day. Check out my previous video of On Demand if you want to see the one from the other day. Let's do Eddie versus Royler now and see. It could just be that the video is so damn old and the way it's streaming, it just doesn't look good in the picture-in-picture. But let's see. Let's try it one more time. I mean, I'm going to play it one way or the other, but it'd be nice if you didn't see all the weird shit on there. Nah, that's just what it is. I can't change that. Okay. Not a huge ordeal, I guess. Not the end of the world. But maybe we'll fix it up for next time. But this match, okay, so here we go. Eddie Bravo, Royler Gracie. The mat is literally on fire. So I set the mat on fire. There's hot coals everywhere you look. Look, a couple things happened in this match. One is Royler passes Eddie's guard pretty quickly. Like, he starts to slice through the guard and pass it. Let's see if we can find the first pass. And then Eddie immediately gets a jailbreak escape. And I got to say, like, Eddie got 2 jailbreak escapes in this match. And without that jailbreak escape, like, really locked and loaded for Eddie, Eddie's going to have, like, a bigger problem in this match for certain, right? And this is Eddie won trials. First time in Brazil, fighting a legend who, you know, up to that point had won ADCC multiple times, never been scored on, never been tapped in competition. Really, for the Gracies, he was their main competitive jiu-jitsu guy. No shade on anyone else. He was just crushing everybody. And you can kind of see here, Royler, let's find that pass. He does get the pass. Eventually, he slides that knee out. Eddie does a nice job, but Royler's got like a crossface underhook of death on him. And it's just, you know, a little nice view of the lockdown. Just holding him in that pocket. Let's find the jailbreaks here. I might have passed one up already, honestly. Eddie did him so quick. The thing to note is this, is all the jailbreak escape attempts that Eddie did were in the beginning of the match up until the final one when he got the triangle. They were all from Eddie's left leg. So Hoyler passed to his left. He was on Eddie's right side, just like he is now. And then Eddie would put his left foot into the hip pocket of Hoyler and hit that jailbreak escape. All right. And he did it several times. And he actually got a sweep on Hoyler, which is crazy. Nobody even scored on him up to that point, right? And here we go again. Hoyler gets back up on top. Boom, he passed right there. Now watch, here comes the jailbreak. See, Eddie grabs his foot. Ah, man, I had it on the stupid preview. Let me show that again. Eddie has his foot. Watch, Eddie grabs his foot and just puts it in the hip line and then uses that to turn back in to half guard. And again, Hoyler's just like, he's so tight with the crossface underhook. It's just not giving Eddie room to recover guard, not giving Eddie room to play lockdown, not giving Eddie room to do much, to be honest with you. Now, here's where Eddie gets closed guard and he starts feeling a little bit better. And Hoyler does a pretty good job of dealing with all of these, at the time, were like extremely exotic positions here. And Eddie's just, you know, he keeps working. He keeps working. Everything's like Hoyler's just keeping posture, standing tight, doing all the things you need to do to defend the position. And then eventually he stacks Eddie up and he starts to get a little space and he's able to get some clearance. All right. Now here's the pivotal moment. This time, Hoyler doesn't pass to Eddie's right. He passes to Eddie's left. So he goes to a left side pass. Now Eddie hits the jailbreak with the right foot. All right. And when he pulls Hoyler in, he's able to get the overhook. Did you see that? That overhook in that position where Eddie's head is higher than Hoyler's head, Eddie hadn't been able to find that overhook with that head positioning. Every time Eddie got into any kind of overhook, it was a very weak one because Hoyler had a crazy crossface underhook game. I really think it's because Hoyler passed to the opposite side and his hand placement was just off. Boom. See how he resets? And you could see Hoyler with his left arm, he kind of starts looking like, what do I do with the left arm? And that is the moment where Eddie traps Hoyler's left arm right here. Boom, left arm's trapped. And now Hoyler can't crossface, and Eddie starts to push the hand back and hits the triangle. Boom. Eddie wraps over the leg. I often wonder if Hoyler would have right here, if he just would have been bananas and picked Eddie up. If he could, but Eddie did hook over his leg, so it could have impeded that. Hoyler sits down. You can see he tried to wrap his right leg over Eddie, and then he comes back up and he tries like the power stack, which is a pretty good move. He's pretty deep on Eddie's neck, and then he gives the tap. And Eddie just like, it's funny hearing Eddie talk about this moment here because he's like, man, I was walking around the mat like, yeah, I did that. But he said he was thinking in his head like, I can't even believe that this happened right now at this place. So Eddie Bravo, Hoyler Gracie, what a great matchup. What a great matchup that one was, man. Good, like pretty amazing stuff there. Let me pause this video here. All right, good. It's paused. No more crosstalk. So yeah, great stuff in that matchup. Now, okay. I told you I want to talk about UFC 328. All right. And I do, because this was a big matchup. This was Sean Strickland going up against Khamzat. Huge thing. You know, titles on the line. Bragging rights are on the line. Lots of smacks being talked. Khamzat kicks Strickland at the weigh-ins. And I really believe the beef was real. Like, I kind of thought, like, this beef is probably real. I'm not positive. But after watching how they kind of hammed it up and were friendly in the ring, I started to think that this beef wasn't real. And I heard Nate Diaz, Mike Perry, when they're sit down for their fight coming up this weekend, you know, Nate Diaz just called it out. Like, I'm not going to have a fake beef. I'm not doing that. I'm just like, I'm too old for that. Right. So the beef was, I think, a little bit fake. I don't think it was totally real. But what's interesting about it is that the first round, Khamzat comes out heavy. He takes Strickland down. He can't finish Strickland. Like, he takes him down, but he can't finish him. Strickland fights hard. He stays in the fight. He ekes the round out. Doesn't take a ton of damage, but damn, like, he couldn't get back up, right? Which could be some psychological damage. Second round starts, and this is where things begin to change. One is Strickland did a fantastic job on his feet of firing back. Every time Khamzat threw a punch or threw a combo, and especially if he landed, Strickland would always follow back, either with a jab or a straight or a jab straight combination. He never let Khamzat really get the last word. Now, in the second round, there's a moment where Khamzat gets stunned, by Sean Strickland, and I want to show you guys this. I want to see if I can look this up here. My tools acted kind of lame though, so I might not be able to. Maybe I'll share it on this other way. Let me try this other one. Let's go share. Let me do something real quick. Let me pull up YouTube. Boom. I'm going to pull up the video and then I'll share it this other way so we can kind of see it a little bit better here. Let's go. Khamzat wobbled in the second round. All right. And I don't remember the play-by-play guys even mentioning this. Like, to be honest, I don't remember them saying anything about this. So I did think it was a pretty big turning point in the fight. All right, so let's go to a window. Let's go to a Chrome tab. Okay, here we go. This is it right here. So let me add it to the screen. All right, let me see if I could just go like. I can't. Okay, so here we go. So right there, look, Khamzat's watch. He gets wobbled. Boom, right there. Look, he's wobbling. See his legs? Watch his legs. Boom, right there. That right hand is wobbling. Right after that wobbling shot. Boom. Right after that wobbled punch or wobbled him, he takes a terrible shot. Let me see if I can find it.
That's big. Oh, big shots from Strickland.
I think this will have some stuff in it. Let's see. Let's watch this one. Boom! Look at him.
Good right hand by Sean.
He nailed him. Rogan called it out as a good right hand. Look at the wobble. And then the sloppy shot. And then after the sloppy shot, Strickland's got confidence and he's willing to stand in there and punch. And ultimately, I think because he did answer back, because he didn't back down, he did a great job. Ended up winning the fight. Good on him. I expect a rematch. I know they said Khamzat had a really tough weight cut. He probably did. He drops a lot of weight, like too much weight, to be honest with you. And, it's like this was fake beef and the kick was probably fake too. And I guess that's okay, but it's a little like played out. You know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna have a beef, I want a Armin Sarukian beef. I want dudes to like get after it. Let's scrap for real. It didn't quite happen that way. And speaking of Sarukian, right? We saw him go off at Real American Freestyle. We saw him have some crazy match against Giorgio there, where they ended up in a fight, and then they came back and fought again. Sarukian beat him once again. But Real American Freestyle, man, they are making some banger moves, in my opinion. Part of the challenge in the jiu-jitsu world today is that nobody can quite, like, promotion-wise, I shouldn't say they can't figure it out, but it's been difficult for shows to figure out the formula. Like, how do I dial this in just right to get people to watch and make it entertaining and have good athletes and not get a bunch of criticism and be able to do more than 2 or 3 shows, right? And look, obviously Flow Grappling does a good job. Who's Number One does a good job. EBI's kind of dialed in their formula for that, and PGF for certain, I think, in my opinion, has the best thing going in the game right now. Real American Freestyle, though, has definitely taken a seat at the table. And if you're not paying attention to Real American Freestyle and you're running a show and you're thinking of ideas and you're like, how are we going to move forward? You should pay attention to Real American Freestyle. If you're not watching it, you should watch it. It's outstanding stuff, man. This was started by the Hulkster, Hulkamania, and Eric Bischoff. You should know Bischoff from WCW Monday Night War. That was awesome stuff. Got to live through that and watch it firsthand. Bischoff and Hogan come in. Obviously, you know, the late Hulk Hogan, he passes away. Bischoff continues to run the organization. They got a TV deal. They got investment. They're doing shows every week. And they're signing big names, not just from the wrestling world. They have some legit freestyle wrestlers. Like real deal freestyle wrestlers, 100%. They got a handful of jiu-jitsu guys that kind of do both, mix in and out. And then they have some big MMA names. Some big names, man. We saw Henry Cejudo match up there. And recently they announced that they've signed Kamzat to wrestle at Real American Freestyle. Now, on top of this, they're smart because they're building a pipeline. They just announced RAF Next Gen. And this is essentially like RAF Next Gen is going to take place after the RAF event in July. I think it's on July 19th in Milwaukee. It's going to be the day after RAF 11. And it's a development emerging talent brand. So they're going to be bringing younger wrestlers up and into this and giving them a place to develop and showcase their skills, start building these stars. Look, if there's anything that Eric Bischoff knows how to do, it's to build a star. They know how to build stars. And in my opinion, that is the number one thing that's lacking. If you are in professional wrestling and you run a professional wrestling organization, you have a writer, you have a head writer, you have mini writers, you have writers' meetings. And yes, they're scripting outcomes, but they're also building characters. And that's what's missing from submission grappling. You need somebody who can build a character for you, who could tell a story on your behalf. We already know most of these athletes, they have zero mic skills. That's a you can't even get into pro. If you suck on the mic, you better have a crazy physical presence. You better be able to do wild shit in the ring, or you're not going to be in pro wrestling. Now, in jiu-jitsu, it's not that way. As long as you can win and you're tough, like you don't have to have that great of skills on the mic. So what you do need then is an organization that can tell your story on your behalf, that can sell you to the fans. And that's what RAF can do in droves here. RAF 9 is coming up May 30th. I don't know if it's in Arlington or Houston. I think those two cities are close, though, I don't think they're too far away. The main event is going to be Gable Steveson. They announced his signing a few months back. He's going to be making his main event. Look, he's a 2020 gold medalist, two-time NCAA champ, two-time Dan Hodge Trophy winner. Romanov, he's going up against Alexander Romanov, who is 19-3 in MMA. His nickname is King Kong. He's a former UFC heavyweight contender. He's been in the PFL. So the question is, like, is Romanov's freestyle wrestling on par enough to match up against Gable Steveson? I don't think so. Like, I personally don't think so, but I do think it's a compelling matchup. And then we hit the next match on the card is Colby Covington versus Chris Weidman. Look, Weidman just got inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and now he's fighting for RAF, which is awesome. There's a lot of these dudes who their jiu-jitsu wasn't amazing, which is why I think Real American Freestyle lends itself very nicely to pulling in ex-MMA fighters, because a lot of MMA guys, they have MMA jiu-jitsu, and that's not a problem. That's okay. It's good enough for MMA, and some guys have really good MMA jiu-jitsu, but they don't want to go do submission grappling. They want to go do freestyle wrestling, because many of them came up in freestyle wrestling, wrestled a couple years in high school, maybe wrestled in junior college, maybe wrestled, from the time I was 5 to the 8th grade or something like that, right? So we're going to see Colby Covington Former UFC interim welterweight champion out of Oregon State taking on Weidman. This is pure MMA nostalgia here. It's like both these guys built their games around wrestling pressure. So let's see who's going to take that one home. That's the co-main. The featured event is Merab Devlashvili against Frankie Edgar. Like, what a great matchup. Merab, former UFC bantamweight, most takedowns in UFC history, 14-fight UFC win streak. Edgar's a former UFC heavyweight champion, D1 wrestler, 24-11. Man, Edgar's arguably is going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, he's had a great career. The question is can he put up with Merab's relentless? Merab wrestles like he's been personally insulted by the match itself. Not the athlete, but just the match insults him, right? And he's just getting after it. So looking forward to seeing that. And then they got the purest matchup, which is Zane Rutherford going up against Tolga. And, you know, Zane's a 3-time NCAA champion, 2-time Dan Hodge Winter Award, 2023 World Champion, 2024 Olympian, 128-3. That's his college record. Tolga's a Mongolian standout. He beat Zane at the 2024 Olympic qualification tournament. It's a huge revenge angle for Zane here. This really, for like freestyle, like elite freestyle wrestling fans, this is the matchup that they're going to see. They might want to see Gable Stevenson, but they may not know who Alexander Romanov is, but I guarantee they know Rutherford and Tolga. I guarantee it. Like that's a match you're going to watch. And then the chaos match here is, again, Armin Sarukian is going up against Keelong Jimison. Sarukian is just, Sarukian is Raf's something insane is always going to happen guy. Like, he's that guy. He's the guy where Bischoff and Chael are like, dude, we got to get him on every card because he's a wild card. We don't know what he's going to do. There's some other good matches on the card. I think Kenny Blades and Kennedy Blades, Alexis Gomez was canceled due to injury, but good stuff on the card, man. The question is like, can Real American Freestyle continue to pull this out? I personally think they can. I think Bischoff comes from TV. And, listen, this is not a knock on anybody. It's not. But in a day and age where guys like me can just live stream and do stuff, and anybody can do anything, you can have an event anywhere, you can really tell the difference when it's being put on by folks who come from television with a television background. It doesn't mean you have to adhere to everything, but there's some things that they really, really, really do right, and Bischoff is one of those guys. So check out Real American Freestyle. Look, to watch it, I think you got to have a subscription to like Fox 1 or something. Some people don't want that. They're like, I don't want conservative stuff on my TV. Look, it's Real American Freestyle, man. It's grappling. You got to watch all the other shit. Just watch the grappling. Watch the freestyle wrestling. Have a good time with it. Don't take it personal. Big stuff, though, man. So looking forward to that. Great weekend ahead, man. It's been a good day. That's all I got for my kick stream today. If you join me on YouTube, yo, what's up? It's great to see you. Make sure you check me out on the bullpen. That will be live on Friday. We usually go live somewhere between 6:30. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack that. We usually go live on Friday somewhere between 4 and 5 p.m. It just depends on how much setup has got to be done, what's going on with the schedules. But you can catch Raph and I this Friday on the bullpen talking about all of your favorite grappling topics. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, Inside BJJ, YouTube. Give me a subscribe, Inside BJJ. Kick is my favorite platform in the entire world. Make sure you follow me on Kick Inside BJJ. Follow my homies on Kick. I got some great friends there. Mr. X, Shy City, that's CHI City. Give them a like, give them a follow, say what's up. Check out PGF World. Check out the Grappling Hour. Support the people that support the things you love. It's been a great show. I'll catch you on the other side. This has been the Inside BJJ Podcast.
I release you now. You are allowed to go back to your shameful, pathetic life.